Hi, everybody. We're live. And today we are here with Dr. Karen Aronian. She's a former New York City's public school teacher and college professor at private and public universities across the United States. And through her company, Aronian Education Design, Dr. Aronian brings over 30 years of expertise guiding parents and educators in reorganizing their learning spaces. So that's our topic for today. We are going to help parents who are then with their teenagers going to help create a better learning environment if they are learning at home. So thanks for being here with us.
Thank you, Susan. Great to be here.
My first question is this discussion a luxury? Is space and what we do with it, is that for people who have opportunity and extra resources and big enough houses? Or can people who are listening right now thinking, well, I can't buy anything new, I don't have a really big house, can they still create a better learning environment for their kids?
Absolutely. So we're only as limited as our minds, and designing spaces, having purpose with what you do in your home, doesn't matter if it's, as small as you can imagine to as large as you can imagine. That actually might be a bigger issue. The bottom line is that having intention, having purpose, and having creativity, and imbuing everything you do, your home foremost, with that innovation and re-envisioning, with design that, again, is purposeful and brings in education.
So I don't have vision. That's not my natural default. I don't look at space and see all the things I could do with it. So when you talk about purpose for space, I'm lost. What does that mean?
So more or less, if you are looking at any place in your home, you think to yourself, how could I grow this and make this better? What kind of information could I bring in here? So I'll just give you a hint. For instance, if we are thinking about holidays now, right? That's an easy one. And all teachers do this, right? They want to capture what's happening in the world and on a day-to-day basis by giving information. So they're going to put into their classrooms, and we're going to put into our home, our classroom, what is happening today. So what day of the week is it? Is that clear? Is that very evident in your home?
Not to anyone right now, right?
So we'll throw it all up in the air. It's any day you want it to be, but starting from a place of just getting people centered, the day of the week, what month it is, what potential holidays are coming up, having a calendar, and then bringing in what's going to be happening this month. Are there any holidays coming up? Can we put up some images of what we do in September? Do we want to have anything where we go out on an outing and put that also on our calendar? So we can grow this, whether we do this on our refrigerator, whether we do this on the door of our front door, inside of the door. So it's something we reference every day, along with a list of what we need to bring with us to school, or we can also put up intentions, good feelings, ideas, a nicety about somebody in the home or something we're feeling. So one thing I do, and I'll just jump, I have a whiteboard going at all times by the front door with a dry erase marker. And I might just write up something that pops into my head. So it's sunny out today. And then I let the kids add to it as they come past it.
Oh, like a prompt. That's lovely. Okay, because you were listing all those other things and I was thinking, oh my God, more work for me. But the whiteboard is actually not a whole lot of extra work for you. Like a wreath or all these other crafty projects may be outside some of our listeners' desire or time availability. But a whiteboard seems, or just something comparable to that, where you're literally setting a tone for the day or the week. Is that what you're suggesting?
Absolutely. And whether it is an inspirational quote, or it's somebody's birthday, or you just get a little rhyme in your head, or you say something you saw or something someone said to you. And it's fun when you just continue adding on to it and you sort of create, sort of a daily story there.
Okay, so I want to welcome everybody who's listening right now and encourage you to ask your questions in the comments or even just make comments, and we'll do our best to get to them. So we're here right now with Dr. Karen Aronian, and we are talking about how to best make a space in your house for optimal learning and, I guess, well-being, right? Would you say that's part of it?
Absolutely. The way we feel, the way we function in space is everything that is going to, bring joy into us. And of course, our feelings are tied to our atmosphere, our environment. So again, it's about creating spaces that then elevate you overall.
If I have a bunch of kids at home right now, and we're all trying to create our own space to make it work, do you have a suggestion for, like, how do we carve out a little niche in each of the spaces in our house for each of our kids?
Surely. We were going to start with just having conversations with your kids. What happened last spring was triage. We all sort of pieced together everything we had in our home to make it work. And we also thought, this is all ending tomorrow, so I don't want to make an investment. And actually, I never believed that anything should be, beyond in a monetary investment. We're always reusing, repurposing, recycling what we have, and passing down, asking of community, going onto your Facebook pages with Susan and saying, does anybody have, or I'm looking for, because people do, and they grow out of things. And of course they want to pay it forward and pass it forward and be generous. So ask of your community for items you may need, whether it's a desk, whether it's a light, whether it's books, whether it's toys. And just again, carving out spaces, as you mentioned, that are personalized to who's in the home. And as we know, if you put any little knickknack, any little item of wonder, or anything that resonates with you, that makes you feel good, if you place that into where you work or a spot that you've designated as a work spot in your home, that's going to make you happy. So our idea here is to multiply happiness, multiply feelings of wellness and focus in spaces where we intend to work. For every child, it's going to be different. We can all work in the same room. I have a solution to that. And again, it begins with, what would you like here? Who are we working with? What are their colors? What are their interests? And what are the things that light them up?
So you said everyone in the same space can work. How does that happen? I mean, it's distracting, right? Like
Yeah, it can be. And the first idea is, I want you to picture in your mind what a office workspace might look like. Your traditional office workspace might look like. Most people would be in cubicles. They would be sort of having barriers around them from other people in that work environment. And the idea here, I did a workaround solution for this on a webinar I recently did with Teachers College, Columbia. And the idea again was, how do we work from home right now? How do we set up our environments for distance learning, hybrid learning, or any learning going forward? We're always going to have homework. We're always going to have something to do at home, or a place we need to focus. So the idea is to carve out and create a space within a space. Now, for Teachers College and what I show on my website as well, I just took an old sheet, and my 13-year-old daughter, she personalized this old sheet. She drew all over it. She used a hot glue gun, and she used some sewing, and she put her entire schedule for the day on there. And then she put on all this like creative inspiration of quotes, some pictures, some glued on appliques. And then we push pin this into the ceiling. Just get your basic push pins. And she designated a 6-foot space, what we're looking for to recreate in school. If you're not in school, it sets you up to know, what does that distance feel like, look like? And within a room, to create, if you can, 3 feet or 6 feet, that would be her area. By a window, natural light is best, with noise canceling headphones, and all the things that would make her space about her, that would make her feel good in that space. And I can go through them. There's many different items that you can consider when you set up a space.
Yeah, so give us a few of those items.
Sure. So first of all, we're going to think about the idea that you're going to want to sit at some point. So that idea is your basic go-to traditional setup at a school. You're going to have a seat. You're going to have a desk. So that's something you want to look to create. And I really am a big fan of moving because moving gives oxygen to the brain. The old idea that we are static, sitting, immobile is dated. And we're always moving between classes, right? That's what you would do in a normal school. So if you can have a stand-up desk, this is, sort of the evolution of working. We know of the treadmill desk, we know of the standing desk, so give that to your kids. If you even have a shelf and you can clear the shelf of knickknacks, they have a standing desk. If you have a larger, say, file cabinet, and they can be there and have a standing spot, or change rooms. So to get that standing. And I also like sitting on the floor. The idea of grounding. We, as humans, are connected to the earth's connected to us. And with that in mind, young children begin on the ground in floor time with their teachers. And if your child's comfortable there are many ways to set up on the floor that can work for them. They have these wonderful L-shaped seats. I have them again on my website that show you how you can be on the floor and get that back support, or of course you can be next to a wall. And there are wonderful little tray desks too. Also, considering if you're working with a device, there are different ways to have that device be on a stand. And they should never be on your lap. Just because it's called a laptop doesn't mean it should ever be on your lap, because this is something that has EMF and electromagnetic force, and it should not be on us, right? We're humans. We're not. We're luckily, not machines. So with that in mind, just coming back to the space, we want to think about the positioning. And I do like a desk because you never want to fall out of this. This is something that you're going to be asked to do. So have a little time with that. Consider the other options. Lighting, very key. The air quality. A plant can actually clean air, but you can also go beyond it. Atomizer, diffuser, open the window because we want that fresh air that we can get. This is the silver linings of being at home right now. So, if they like a little scent like peppermint to perk them up, or a little lavender to cool them down. And again, just being able to appreciate the weather right now still. And so if you can open the window, you get that fresh air. It's a nice reset.
Okay, so we've talked a lot at your teen about sleep and bedroom, and how your bedroom is supposed to be dedicated to sleep, and so many people are having trouble sleeping right now. But that might be the only place that you can get the quiet that you need to focus. So if you're a teenager and you've made your bedroom your workspace, are there any tips how to separate that? Like, don't be in your bed, have a chair. I don't know. What can you do?
Exactly. It's the same solution, the same situation of, let me take a portion of this room and dedicate it to being my workspace. And again, you can use a sheet. You could use a screen. You could use, those giant wardrobe boxes that you use to move. So if you could cut that up and you create the screen, right? You could even you're going to cut half of it and you already have that natural break. Now take the other piece and attach it with duct tape, decorate it, paint it, take it outside, make action painting, whatever you like. Drape it, make it beautiful, take some old material, use wrapping paper. So create a cubicle, more or less, within your room. Because like you said, Susan, we don't want people zooming into our bedrooms. That's number one, not okay. And number two, you mentioned sleep. When we work on our bed, when we work in that kind of location, that is a relaxation spot. That is a spot where our brain says, this is where I cool down for the day and stop thinking about what I have to do. So we're actually confusing two different objectives. So again, it should not be on the bed, and we should take a portion of the bedroom and set that aside for our study space.
I love how creative it is. You just take a piece of cardboard and let your kid go at it, and now you've got a wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, here's my last question for you. What's your best piece of advice for parents?
Let's remember that we've always done this. We started in caves. We were writing on the walls. That was our workplace. That was our study space. And we've always been first teachers. We are our child's first teachers. We're honestly the people who know them best. We're their eternal teachers. So we really do have this innately. It's instinctive. It's within us. Right now, we're building a partnership with our schools, with our teachers, and of course, with our children. So this is sort of hark back a bit to how it once was. And quite frankly, we're going to go forward better because of this, with this information of knowing our children, working with them, seeing how they work, and embracing that we are all teachers and every place can be a learning space.
Thank you so much, Dr. Karen Aronian. I love this idea of all these collaborative opportunities for families and for individuals and parents with their kids to come up with spaces that are going to help us have a better environment to learn in. So thanks so much.
Thank you, Susan. And I've got a program going right now on my website, which gives people all the options of how they can use their home to optimize learning and creativity.
Okay, so what's your website?
It's drkarenaronian.com.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you.